Hey guys, subscribe for daily content. And if you're shopping for gear, make sure you check out the description for the newest items at some of the very best online retailers. There's also links for some of the items that I personally recommend. Thanks! What's going on YouTube? Metal Complex here, and today I've got another short little unboxing video to share with you guys. I think I know what's in here. It's pretty heavy. I believe this is from Midgards Messer, and I think it's something pretty fun. So, I will try to link this down below. I think these will be available at Tools for Gents. That's usually the case. If you've ever wondered, where does this guy get all these like giant, thick Midgards Messer knives? Tools for Gents is a pretty good source for them. So I'll link that right down below. Thanks so much to, I assume, Tools for Gents for sending this in. Thanks to my patrons for supporting me. And please make sure to follow me on Instagram at metal_complex. All right. I hope this is what I think it is. Yeah. Yes. Okay, wow. Oh boy, and it also has the secondary pin. So here's what's interesting. I just saw this on Instagram the other day, and I'm sure a lot of you did too. This, I think, is called the Utgard Tactical. Now, if you're familiar with Midgards Messer knives, right, is that the Thor hammer? It's got a Mjolnir pocket clip. Oh man, look at that. Absolutely insane. Huge, typical overbuild. This is great. This piece of G10 here that's laying on top of the titanium and is diamond textured and shadow boxed by the scales. That's really good looking. So what's not typical of Midgards Messer knives is the ability to deploy it like this. Oh wow, that feels really good. I gotta do it again. Oh man, I like how this is still very Midgards Messery, but it's doing a little bit less of the really a lot of times with a lot of companies I say you do too many things that are subdued in traditional knife lines. You should do more crazy stuff. Midgards Messer almost exclusively does crazy stuff, so it's actually kind of nice to see something that's, you know, for Midgards Messer, right? I mean, I understand it's hard to say that with a straight look on my face, and it's got a Mjolnir pocket clip, but it's a little bit more on the regular knife sort of profile look. Still very aggressive, very thick. Look at that blade stock. I got to see exactly how thick that is. I bet you that's approaching a 1/4 inch, if not right on. Let's see here. Come on now, zero out. There we go. Absolutely, 239,000, so just shy of a 1/4 inch. Huge! We have a frame lock, but it's tucked underneath the scale, which is very nice because then we don't have to, I gotta try to reverse flick it. Oh, you can absolutely do it. I think maybe, could you use the fuller? You could, I think probably still though the easiest way, definitely. So, bottom of this cutout here is actually just fine. Heavy detent for that. Perfectly tuned for the flipper. And the front flipper is incredibly easy to get at. That is a huge, huge front flipper. So, of course, you have the frame lock. And then if you choose to, you don't have to, you can use this pin as a secondary lock, which does make it extremely strong in terms of, you know, what it would take to disengage it. It would be far beyond the, you know, natural human force, and you would have to be doing something way outside of the parameters of reasonable for a knife, right? So yeah, nice centering there, very cool. They sent the titanium scales too. Oh, we got to put those on. Okay, so what do we have here? Blue, that's Tools for Gents, is usually, I think they do, like, because Midgards Messer is its own thing. But I think Tools for Gents always does, like, a special version of the knife in blue. So I guess they sent, I don't know if they all come with I feel like there's probably 2 versions. I would be surprised if these also came with the tie scales, but I honestly don't know. I feel like there's 2 versions of it. So it looks like we're going to need hex 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to pull the clip and then pull the scales and then put everything back on. So I'm going to do that real quick and then show you guys what it looks like. Okay, all done. And yeah, that was extremely simple and these look awesome. They definitely do add a little bit of weight, but I mean, at this point, you're already looking at an absolutely gigantic knife. I mean, certainly not the biggest knife that man, that does look good. I'm not always a fan of blue anno, but I've gotten so used to Midgards Messer doing their own thing with, Tools for Gents having the exclusive blue on these. I've almost come to associate Midgards Messer knives with blue anno. That diamond texturing is so good. Man, that looks good. That is awesome. Fans of big overbuilt knives who have in the past been disappointed by, the action's very smooth by the way, disappointed by the sometimes awkward nature of Midgards Messer knives. You know, a lot of times their knives are designed to get around laws in those areas, right? This is a knife that actually has a deployment mechanism that is meant for one hand, that's normally not what we see, right? Or at least they're not made in a way that makes that convenient. This is obviously meant for convenient one-hand manipulation, and at the same time is also definitely worthy of the overbuilt title, especially considering it's not just thick materials, it actually has the secondary pin lock. Even though it's just a little pin, that makes all the difference in the world. An additional stop pin, right? Think about the number of contact points we have here. You have the regular stop pin, you have a secondary stop pin, and you've got the frame lock. That's quite a bit, right? That's going to I mean, I don't ever tell people, you know, I think that pocket knives should be used for abuse. I think you should always use a knife for cutting. But if you ever use a knife and every now and then your knife is kind of another tool, well, if it's a regular pocket knife, then all of that goes to the pivot. That's what's taking all of it, right? So if you can mitigate some of that away from the pivot and in this case onto another stop pin, that's always helpful. So yeah, but for the most part, I mean, people will probably be interested in this just because it is so cool. Oh man, I like the blade shape. Very, very cool. Definitely one of the best, one of the better looking knives, or I guess I still like the look of all Midgards Messer knives, but they are very polarizing, right? Most of the time you either love them or you hate them because usually their blades are very tall and very unorthodox looking, right? That's what's cool about Midgards Messer is love them or hate them, you know one when you see one, right? Let's measure it so that everybody knows kind of what size of knife we're looking at here. The overall length, oh boy, yeah, 8.75. Blade length is 3.85. Cutting edge, 3.5. You have a pretty good, it's a single knuckle forward choil, but it's pretty deep in there, right? Very cool. Man, I wish we could get away from CPM D2. I know they seem to really like CPM D2, and let's be fair, just so you guys understand, CPM D2 is Crucible D2. That is USA powder formed D2. It is absolutely more expensive to buy than regular D2. It is a powder formed steel. However, at this price point, which I'm only going to guess just based on other Midgards Messer knives, people probably want to see a premium stainless steel like S35VN. There's a lot of other options, obviously, but I think people would probably prefer to see something else. CPM D2 is fine, and it will absolutely work. I mean, it honestly, it might be, it might actually be more of an appropriate steel for this geometry. The problem is that the people spending this type of money on these type of knives generally prefer to see something that is viewed as more premium, and honestly, I view S35VN and other steels in that same tier as more premium than CPM D2. You can think whatever you like. That's just my honest take on that. Let's weigh it. I should have weighed it with the G10 scales first, right? But let's go ahead and do that. Okay, yep, that's a big one there, 9.74 ounces. I'm going to guess that the titanium scales probably added 3/4 of an ounce or so, but I'm usually not very good at guessing weight, but yeah. Pretty good looking knife there. Pretty cool. This is not a review. This is just an unboxing and first impressions. Very solid lockup, by the way. You will get a full comprehensive review of this knife a few weeks down the road from now. But I think that's going to be pretty much it today. Real quick, I think we'll do just some size comparisons. So custom scales can be found down in the description under Original Goat and others. Here it is up against the 8010 and the Benchmade Group Tillionaire, in this case the Ritter Hogue. Demco 80 at 20.5. Spyderco PM2, Hodeca, and how about the Para 3? Surely that'll give you guys a decent idea of what we're looking at there. Cool knife, definitely. I don't know. I like the look of the black G10, and it's definitely nice. Like they didn't, you know, these weren't like just sloppily made or anything like that. I don't think sloppily is a word, but I do like the look of the titanium and the blue here. I think this is really, really cool. God, look at all this jimping back here. It's insane. A highway of jimping. Okay. That's going to be it. Links for this, I'll try to link it. I don't know if it's available yet. I'll try to link it down at Tools for Gents. So you might just see a link for Tools for Gents. So just search for the Utgard Tactical. Please make sure to follow me on Instagram at metal_complex. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like. If you'd like to check out my other content, I do, of course, have lots of videos of knives that are either expensive or inexpensive that I do or don't like, so check those out. And if you enjoy all my content, go ahead and click on that Metal Complex logo right there and subscribe because there's definitely more coming. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and have a great day.